Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive. Today we are going to be looking at something really mind-bending.
Yeah.
The intersection of temporal reversibility and quantum physics
Wow.
and blockchain technology.
Really interesting stuff.
Yeah. We've got some really fascinating sources to unpack here.
Yeah.
Academic papers on the stability of Moscovium, explorations of something called time resonance,
Okay.
and even some theories that kind of push the boundaries of, known science.
That's right. Yeah. And it's amazing how all these seemingly separate fields all come together.
Yeah.
And the implications of this are huge.
Yeah.
You know, we could be talking about reshaping our understanding of time and information itself.
So let's start with this Moscovium
Okay.
element 115, right? It's a super heavy synthetic element,
Mhm.
and it's so unstable that it decays in milliseconds.
Yeah.
Like it vanishes before scientists can even study it.
It's true, and that's exactly why it's so fascinating to physicists.
Okay.
Like, why is it so unstable? One of the sources we have here tackles this question
Okay.
with a pretty innovative mathematical model
Yeah.
using something called Jacobi equations.
Jacobi equations, that sounds pretty intense.
It can be, yeah.
What are those, and how do they apply to something as fleeting as Moscovium?
Well, the equation itself is very complex,
Right.
but the core idea is that it uses what are called Jacobi series
Okay.
to model the behavior of Moscovium's nucleus.
Right.
You can imagine the nucleus is like a tiny drum constantly vibrating,
Uh-huh.
and the Jacobi series describe those periodic oscillations.
So these Jacobi series, they're like a mathematical representation of the Moscovium's vibrations.
Exactly. Yep.
What does that tell us about its instability, though?
That's where things get really interesting.
Yeah.
This model combines these oscillations with the principles of quantum evolution,
Okay.
and it adds a mind-blowing twist:
Okay.
temporal reversibility.
Oh, wow.
The idea that under certain conditions, physical processes could actually run in reverse.
So we're talking about, the possibility of slowing down or even reversing the decay of Moscovium.
That's right.
It sounds like science fiction.
It might sound far-fetched, but the model suggests some interesting possibilities.
Okay.
It predicts that Moscovium initially has this maximum stability,
Okay.
but decays progressively with oscillations.
Okay.
However, there's also a predicted reduction in the decay rate in the short term,
Okay.
which means that theoretically there might be ways to manipulate those oscillations and actually influence the decay rate.
So if I'm understanding this correctly, we're saying there's a potential here to control the lifespan of this super unstable element by manipulating its inherent vibration.
Exactly.
That's huge.
It is huge, yeah. And now you might be wondering what all this has to do with blockchain technology.
Yeah, how do we get there?
Well, it's this concept of temporal reversibility inspired by Moscovium's behavior
Okay.
that leads to some truly mind-boggling ideas.
How do we connect a super unstable element to the world of digital information and blockchains?
Well, one of our sources introduces this really interesting concept of a harmonic blockchain.
Okay.
A structure where each block is like a resonance point in time,
Okay.
and its modification is governed by time symmetry equations.
Right.
Imagine a blockchain that doesn't just record transactions in this linear way,
Right.
but incorporates the cyclical nature of time itself.
Whoa. So instead of a chain of blocks, we're talking about a blockchain that resonates and vibrates in sync with time.
Yeah, pretty wild concept, right?
Yeah, how would that even function?
Well, that's where things get really revolutionary.
Okay.
Instead of the energy-intensive proof of work that's used in current blockchains,
Right.
this harmonic blockchain relies on something called proof of time reversal,
Proof of time reversal.
or POTR.
So instead of miners solving complex puzzles to add blocks, they'd have to prove that they can reverse the flow of time.
Essentially, yeah.
But how is that even possible?
It's a radical departure from our current understanding of blockchain, that's for sure. But the concept is fascinating.
Yeah.
POTR would use mathematical challenges
Okay.
based on these principles of temporal reversibility to validate blocks.
Okay.
So essentially, only nodes capable of demonstrating that they can mathematically reverse the temporal evolution of information could validate blocks.
Wow. So that's a completely different way of thinking about blockchain validation.
It is.
It seems like we've jumped from this super unstable element to a blockchain that can potentially rewrite history.
And it gets even more mind-boggling.
Oh, no.
One of our sources actually outlines a potential framework for this harmonic blockchain,
Okay.
and they call it the Natacha chain.
Not a chain. That sounds intriguing.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
Imagine a blockchain with a holographic architecture
Okay.
where each transaction has 3 layers.
Okay.
A current version,
Uh-huh.
a reversible past version,
Okay.
and a future projection based on the dynamics of those Jacobi series.
Hold on. Are we talking about transactions with a built-in time machine?
It's kind of like that, yeah.
Yeah. That's incredible. But how would that even work in practice?
Well, that's where the holographic architecture of the Nata chain comes in.
Oh.
Each layer is cryptographically linked to the others,
Oh.
creating the secure and verifiable record of the transaction's evolution through time.
So it's not just about reversing a transaction.
Right.
It's about understanding its entire journey through time.
Exactly.
And having a secure record of every step.
That's right.
That's amazing.
And this opens up some really incredible possibilities for things like NFTs.
Oh.
Imagine NFTs that aren't these static images, but these dynamic, evolving entities.
Yeah.
NFTs on the Nata chain wouldn't just exist. They
Right.
would live and change and adapt
Wow.
based on their internal time cycles and interactions with their owners.
So NFTs with a past, a present, and a future.
Pretty mind-blowing, right?
That's mind-blowing. Yeah, so we've gone from a super unstable element to a blockchain that can rewind time and NFTs that are practically alive.
We have.
It's a lot to take in.
It is a lot to take in. But we're just scratching the surface of this mind-bending exploration.
Right.
In part 2, we'll delve even deeper into this Nata chain
Okay.
and explore some of the philosophical and ethical implications of these ideas.
I can't wait.
Me neither. Welcome back. Last time we were talking about this Nata chain.
Yeah.
This really mind-boggling idea for a blockchain that incorporates temporal reversibility.
Yeah, we were talking about how this hypothetical blockchain could potentially have past, present,
Right.
and even future versions of transactions all linked together
Yeah.
in a secure way.
Yeah, it's like building a time machine into the structure of a blockchain.
Yeah.
Pretty radical concept.
Yeah.
But, if we can understand how a fleeting element like Moscovium
Right.
might be manipulated using these principles of temporal reversibility, who's to say that we can't apply similar principles to
Yeah.
the digital world?
Okay, but how do we break this down for listeners who might be thinking,
Yeah.
hold on, how does a past version of a transaction even exist? Is it like hitting undo on a computer?
Well, it's a bit more complex than that.
Okay.
The past version isn't just like an undo button.
Right.
It's a cryptographically secure record of the transaction's evolution.
Okay.
Imagine it like a series of snapshots,
Okay.
each capturing a specific moment in the transaction's journey through time.
So it's not just about reversing a transaction,
Right?
but it's about having this complete and verifiable history of its evolution.
Exactly.
That's a really cool concept. It's like having a built-in audit trail for every transaction.
Exactly. And this level of transparency could revolutionize the way we think about trust
Right.
and accountability in the digital world.
Uh-huh.
Imagine being able to trace the provenance of a digital asset,
Okay.
not just from creation to its current state, but through all of its past and even potential future states.
And speaking of those potential future states,
That's
let's talk about those living NFTs.
Right.
We touched on that earlier.
Yeah.
That idea really captured my imagination. How would an NFT actually evolve on this Nata chain?
Okay.
Would it be like watching a time-lapse video?
It's more interactive than that.
Okay.
Remember those Jacobi series?
Yes.
The ones that describe the oscillations of Moscovium's nucleus?
Right.
Well, on the Nata chain, those same mathematical principles could be used
Gotcha.
to govern the evolution of an NFT.
Okay.
It's like embedding a set of dynamic instructions
Huh.
into the NFT itself.
So instead of a static image,
Yeah.
an NFT on the Nata chain
Yeah.
would be constantly changing and adapting based on these pre-programmed oscillations.
That's right.
That's fascinating.
It is, yeah.
What kind of factors could influence these changes?
Well, it could be a variety of things. It could be interactions with the owner,
Okay.
changes in the blockchain environment,
Uh-huh.
even external data feeds.
Oh, wow.
Imagine an NFT artwork that subtly shifts its color based on the weather.
Yeah.
Or a digital collectible that gains new features as it interacts with other NFTs on the blockchain.
That's incredible. So
Yeah.
we're talking about NFTs that aren't just digital objects, but like dynamic evolving entities.
Exactly.
It's like giving them a life of their own.
Yeah.
But wouldn't this level of complexity make them incredibly difficult to manage
Wow.
and secure?
That's where the beauty of the Nata chain's holographic architecture comes in.
Okay.
because each transaction has these multiple layers.
Yeah.
The evolution of an NFT can be tracked and verified with incredible precision.
Okay.
Think of it like a built-in time-lapse recording of the NFT's entire journey,
Okay.
but with the added security and transparency of blockchain technology.
So the holographic structure isn't just about having past and future versions.
Right.
It's also about ensuring the security and integrity of these evolving NFTs.
Precisely. It's a way of managing complexity while maintaining the trust and verifiability that are essential to blockchain technology.
Okay, so we've got this revolutionary blockchain that can rewind time,
Yeah.
track the evolution of transactions,
Right.
and create living NFTs.
Yeah.
But let's step back for a moment and talk about the bigger picture.
Okay.
What could this mean for our understanding of time and information?
That's a profound question.
Yeah.
If the Nata chain, or something like it,
Right.
ever becomes a reality, it could completely change the way we think about these fundamental concepts.
Are we talking about actually rewriting history or predicting the future?
It's not really about that. It's
Yeah.
more about recognizing that time and information might not be as linear and static as we've always assumed.
Okay.
The Nata chain suggests that information has a past, present, and future,
Yeah.
all interconnected, constantly evolving.
It's like saying that information itself is a dynamic, ever-changing entity,
It is, yeah.
almost like a living organism.
Yeah.
It challenges our very perception of reality.
Exactly. And if that's true, then our understanding of time itself might need to evolve as well.
Wow.